Bambi.
Actually, introduce it one more time. You were muted. Now do it.
Oh my Lord. It's the voicemail dump truck. False starts, ladies and gentlemen. Disqualified from the race. That's right. It's the voicemail dump truck. It's Thursday, June 26th, 2025. My goodness gracious, do we have a show for you today, because we are being graced by the one, the only, let me check my notes, Abby Russell.
Beep, beep. I'm dumping on the truck.
Oh, whoa. No one's ever done that.
Usually say, beep, beep, dumper.
Yes, beep, beep. But we make rest stops for those types of situations.
Oh, not me.
Not you. Somebody hand Abby the cleaning supplies. Dan Reichert.
Hello, that's me. It's going well. I'm ready to dump. Always.
Excellent news about your dumping desires. Jeff Grubb, who needs 11 more arms at the moment. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to get this all set up, but the problem is like I've set it up now for my brain, so when Jan gets back, he's not going to be happy.
It was really selfish of Jan to move.
Yes, right? How dare he do anything for himself?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad someone's saying it out loud. I think, someone's got to just be honest with the way we feel about people and their personal bullshit getting in the way of our company, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good. We can air those grievances. This is a safe space. Abby Russell, it's been, I don't know, what is it? 7 days since we saw you? How are you?
Too long. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Trying to think what's new for me. Got a dog. I think we've talked about it. Maybe
That's
not.
I like the pictures.
Honey Bun.
I've seen the
Honey
pictures.
Bun.
Very cute dog.
Yeah, I can show pictures. I know this is mostly an audio medium, but for the people at home, here's a picture of her sleeping.
Right. Amazing.
Cute. It's not focusing,
Oh,
but it's
that's
cute.
Oh, that's a
I'll
good
do
dog.
a picture where she looks straight up like a cartoon.
Okay.
She looks like a fake dog in this picture.
For audio listeners, the dog looks like a fake dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Picture the
Looks like a
cutest
toy.
dog you've ever seen.
Oh my God.
Jeez, that's
What the
happy
hell?
little dog. Jeez.
Oh, that looks like AI. That looks AI generated.
Yeah, right? Doesn't it
Yeah,
look
that's-
fake?
You're
a
not even
real dog
exaggerating. That's the
who lives
cutest
in my
dog I could
house.
imagine.
Yeah. Happy
It's
little
crazy.
dude.
6 pounds.
How old's your dog?
So we thought we got her at like 6 weeks, but we think we got her closer to 8 based on her teeth, according to the dentist or the vet. So we think right now she's like a little over 3 months old.
Oh, so
But
you're like,
these are 8-week teeth.
I was just gonna say you're splitting hairs over weeks.
I mean, when they're that little, I think it actually does matter, especially if they found her in a box. We don't know when she was taken from her mother puppy.
Right. What did the box? Well, that's deeply upsetting. We've had a lot of dog trauma on the network lately. What
We
exactly?
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
What exactly was the situation? If you don't mind unpacking that a little
So,
bit. No pun intended.
No problem. According to the rescue, in the desert, 29 Palms, which is by Joshua Tree, they dumped like a box of like 15 puppies, 2 litters of Chihuahua mix puppies.
Fucking
And-
hippies did this.
I guess so. Well, there's a lot of rich people by 29 Palms.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, they dumped them at a shelter at least. So then the shelter was like, these puppies are too little to live in the shelter. They'll get sick. So they found the rescue, who I then found. And now I have one of the dogs. And she lives in my home and will for the rest of her life, hopefully.
No.
I mean, you did a beautiful thing. You helped a dog in need.
Yeah.
It's most certainly not a cat, and that's amazing. And I just think it's just very big of you, and I'm so happy that Honey Bun is a part of your family and a part of the extended Giant Bomb Dog Only Pet Club family.
Me too.
Hey, wait a second.
I will say, having a dog, I love her so much. It's so rewarding to see her like flourish in our home, to like learn things, to train her. But having a dog has, I think, if only maybe more of a cat person to be like, wow, cats rule.
Right,
Cats are
That's what
awesome.
happened with me when I rescued my dog. That when I was working as a delivery driver, I found a Pomeranian on an 8-lane highway, and it just jumped in my car, and it's like, I'm your dog now. And I had her for about 6 months, and it was like, not working. I'm gonna take in my mom and my dad, and they loved her to death. It was like a perfect fit. So it worked out really well. But it was like I like dogs in the way that I like any animal. Like I was saying the other day, like when I see a bunny, it's like that's how I feel when I see a dog. I'm like, oh sweet. an animal. I love that. I'm not
Oh,
I'm not
cool
someone
an
who,
animal.
yeah, cool. Animals are cool. I don't need one in my home.
Is there ever, because I like animals a lot too, and I see a lot around here, and like, so when I'm doing my runs and stuff, it goes through like this nature preserve, and there's a lot of deer, and like, I like to wave at deer when I pass them, like, and ducks. I'm always like saying hi to ducks and stuff.
Doffing your cap? Like,
no, I say, as
sir?
I'm running, I'm like, hey bud, how's it going? Like, and I wave at them, and then I think about it, because like I see all these deer, and they look at me, and they're really like, staring me down, and I'll wave me like, hey, what's up? Like, there's no chance that like daddy deer is going to come like kill me or something, right?
Well, I would think
approach the
mommy deer. I
but-
think mommy deer is going to kill you before daddy deer.
Okay,
With
I'm
the
not
way
approaching
deer
them.
behave.
I'm running by them, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like, hey, what's up? I just want to make sure
think
they're
you're
not
fine.
taking that as okay.
I feel like as suburbanites, we have like an incredibly above average amount of experience with fucking deer. With just deer. Okay.
Oh no, there's turtles like crazy over here. That surprised
Yeah.
Jan. He's like,
I
there's
showed-
wild turtles.
I
I'm like,
showed
there's
you I showed you the tortoise in our backyard the other day. Just fucking
Yeah.
trying to get to work.
Yeah,
Just trying to fucking make it through life.
we
I
have
get
big
it.
ass snapping turtles, and they go in under the gate, and then they can't figure out how to get out. And so then there's just giant, like fucking dinosaur snapping turtles just walked around the lawn. So I worry about that when we let the dogs out, because the dogs are idiots, and I don't want them to get bit by a turtle.
Right. Deer behave the same way all the time. In my experience with deer. Abby, any deer experience? You grew up in Virginia, did you not? There had
I
to be,
do. Yes, I
right? They're
do.
always just like, they always just kind of like instantly freeze to like, the fuck you say? Like that. You know what I mean? And then they're, right? And then they're frozen like that for fucking 28 seconds.
Yeah, they're
Right?
pretty
And
dumb.
they're all just kind of like, who's moving first in this exchange, I feel like. And then you make like a clap and they prance away, and that's really the end of it, I don't
Beautiful
Yeah,
creatures,
they're
so
big.
dumb. They love to try to jump right into traffic in the worst possible time.
Well, what do you
Huge
think is the
animals.
dumbest animal? I like
Turkeys.
that. It was Werner Herzog was like talking about that quote about looking into the eyes of the chicken and
Chicken.
the profundity of the stupidity that looks back at you and how he loves it. And I'm like, God, hell yeah, dude.
it's got to be chickens. Like I feel like I've interacted with chickens in the last
That was-
year, and I'm just like, well,
that was
I'm
the
like,
one-
They die
unfair,
if they
right?
stand in the rain because they like drown because they don't know to just like
Yeah.
get cover.
That was a little unfair because we like evolve them to be as stupid as possible, so we don't have to like feel bad when we eat them. It's like also like we've done that to dogs as well. Like dogs are stupid, but only because we've done that to them. Like wolves aren't stupid. So what's the dumbest animal that hasn't been tainted by man?
Oh, just naturally dumb. I mean,
Yeah.
I still think Gizmo's the dumbest animal I know.
Yes.
He lives with me. Yeah. But he's been tainted by man.
Tainted by man, exactly.
Like, do you think your average dinosaur is smarter than your average dog? I know they're extinct. I just feel like I have to give that. Yeah. But like, do you think like an average, like a stegosaurus versus a dog?
I really
no
don't
idea.
know. I really don't know. I'm not assuming so though. I'm not going to be like,
Yeah.
well, of course they had tiny pea brains. I don't know. I
Well,
think
they probably have like bird brains, and a lot of birds
Yeah.
are pretty smart.
Yeah,
Oh,
crows
yeah.
are like some of the smartest birds, or some of the smartest animals. So yeah, maybe they were really smart.
yeah,
Jurassic Park
I'm
made
not-
him seem smart.
right. That's a good way to measure it, I think. But also, it's got to be chickens, man. They're just the dumbest.
For
like,
wild animals, people are saying pandas, and those are the ones that like are too stupid to even like have sex to save themselves. So
Are they even wild? Like they feel like they're basically domesticated at this
I think-
point.
I think they've had to be encaged just to save their species at this point. So yes, yeah, you might be right.
Chad brings up a good point. Fish in general, like a goldfish. I mean, no one
Yeah.
refers to stupidity as much in the way of a goldfish than like any
Yeah.
other animal. I feel like
Brain of a
don't be a
goldfish,
goldfish, right? Like you're
Yeah.
such a goldfish. You see two dimensions and that's it.
I think fish are so dumb that like even like hardcore vegans that are like, I'm not going to eat an animal because they've got souls and intelligence and stuff. There's a lot of them that are just like, I'll eat a fish. Who cares? Like, there's nothing going on there.
Yeah, or like I'm gonna eat a shrimp. What could
Yeah,
possibly be?
Jellyfish.
Seabug.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say, Abby?
Oh, I just said sea bug to go along
Yeah.
with your shrimp
Yeah,
anecdote.
Totally.
shrimp or sea bugs. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So
yeah.
do you think you guys are closer to not eating seafood that look like bugs or closer to eating bugs that look like seafood? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, would you be willing to, if someone offered you a plate and said, this is a delicacy and it's like a bug, but it's basically like a shrimp, would you buy into that? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
would.
It's just the mental gymnastics
thing,
that
yeah.
you've built up for yourself, right? Like, I would say that to myself, what I just said, and go ahead and try it out.
Yeah,
but they're not that different. They're not that different.
They're not different.
I have a big thing.
I've had like grasshoppers. I think it's grasshoppers or crickets. I don't remember which one I think it's grasshoppers. It was fine.
Even crickets, they're crunchy. Yeah, it's okay. There's something like they're just so small. It's not a big deal. They're like a Mentos. But like the more something looks like an animal, the more I don't want to eat it. So it's like
same.
a chicken nugget or a strip of bacon is fine. But I've been to the restaurants and stuff where it's like they bring you just that's a head of a pig. I can see its eye. I can see its snout. And it's like as much pork as I've eaten and continue to, I can't just look at a severed head and be like, I want to eat that, you know?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think with chickens, I just disrespect them so much in the order of intelligence that I'm just like, I don't feel bad about eating these fucking things. Chickens
are so friendly and sweet, though. They like follow you around if they think you're their mommy.
I know. They're just so adorably stupid. And we're watching this YouTube channel where these people have like absorbed 24 chickens and just watching how they act. They seem fine, but like I've made the decision.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't eat a cat, to be clear. It's just, I got better things
gamey.
to do. But it's too gamey. Too annoying. They're too annoying to eat. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I've just moved on with like the thing with chicken. I'll tell you what, when I see a full lobster, I get upset and I'm like, God damn it, you're delicious, but I just can't see your face.
Yeah, I went fishing with my uncle once when I was a kid, and we went back, and he went on a tree stump. He's like, Danny, it's going to be important for you to know, and you got to learn how to gut a fish. And I just watched him just take the skin off this fish, and it's fucking eye bleeding, like just bones coming out. And it was like, I loved Mortal Kombat as a little kid, but suddenly when it's real, it's just like, this is horrifying. I don't ever want to do this.
Yeah, really, really changes the tone there a little bit.
Abby, Dan Reichert tried mustard.
I am a mustard guy now. It's good.
I don't really
it turns
care
out.
for mustard.
I haven't tried all that. I've tried the spicy brown. That's what I had at SGF accidentally, and that turned me onto it. And I have since then. I had my first McDonald's cheeseburger with ketchup and mustard, and it turns out it was quite good.
I believe
Abby?
Yeah, I'm not really a big sauce guy, to be honest.
No?
I've learned to love the sauces as I've gotten older, but I don't like ketchup. I find ketchup actively gross.
Okay.
Mustard is sort of a sibling to ketchup, so I'd rather mayonnaise on pretty much anything you'd put mustard on.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's like a lot of people like fall into one of those three. Dan was like none of the three until last week.
Yeah. So
dry everything.
I guess Abby's the weird food person on this podcast then.
No, that's true. I think Abby, I was curious, it took Dan until his 41st year of walking this earth to try mustard.
I was late 40 at that point. I was a week away from 41, so give me some credit.
Forgive me for speaking
I
out
just
of
like
turn
accuracy.
there.
I just want accuracy on our podcast.
And I respect your commitment to that. Abby, what have you waited like an unreasonably long amount of time in your life to try for the first time? Do you have anything that pops off the top of your head
I was
there?
actually a very picky eater as a child. So there was actually a lot of foods. Yeah, as a child. I will say when I was in my teen years and like learned shame, I was like, I need to start eating like an adult. This is not okay. But I didn't really start eating chicken until I was like 14 or 15.
Chicken?
Which I think is pretty uncommon because that's like the easy food,
Right,
but I just was not into chicken for a long time.
So what were you into then? Like did you like have an order when you went to McDonald's? Were you just getting a hamburger or something?
I would get a hamburger with cheese plain, which is honestly, if I get a quarter pounder, still what I get. I think it's pure. I think it's delicious. Yeah. But I do like a Big Mac with everything on it.
Yeah.
I usually get pickles on the side, but I do like a pickle. Mm-hmm. But
you should try a Big Mac.
Yeah.
Try a Big Mac.
They're delicious.
Do people like generally like them?
Yeah, I love the Big Mac.
When we were working in the office, Dan, I would get a Big Mac like once a
Really?
week.
Maybe. Okay, I'll try it. I like the idea of the center bread, and they don't offer that with the quarter pounder.
Yeah, center bread is choice for sure.
Yeah. I want that. I want more bread.
Abby, thank you for bringing up the Giant Bomb East office because
my pleasure.
Thank you. Were you one of the? Did you ever notice like there was a lot of people who would like hide their lunch? Did you ever do this? Did you ever practice this? I feel like there are people who like ate in weird spots to be alone.
I think that's true. I mostly ate at my desk, and it did feel like I didn't have any shame about eating McDonald's, but I was like, no one else is doing this. They all seem to think they're above it. And I didn't subscribe to that. That's for sure. It's a lot of McDonald's and a lot of Subway because that's what was nearby.
I mean, also, let's be honest. The introduction of open air offices, right? Open area, whatever you want to call them, could have been like the worst thing to ever happen to contemporary like office space. Like I'm not sure there was a worse introduction. Do you remember? Oh, you weren't there, Dan. Oh, well, first, what were you going to say, Grub?
I was just going to ask, I'd like to get like clarity for myself as you describe this. This is something that I feel probably, because I didn't work in an office ever like this, really.
Right.
It seems to me like from the outside, like, hey, this is about collaboration, and it was just about saving money.
It was the illusion of collaboration. Right, like that was the pitch.
It was about collaboration. That's the pitch. But
Was
it seemed
ours
like,
open?
hey, we want to have fewer like bespoke rooms.
Was ours open?
Ours
Open? Yes,
was
of course.
open concept, yes. I saw
course.
less
We had
about
little
saving
walls.
money and more about like lack of privacy, like making sure
Yeah.
you're working. I think that's
okay.
always how.
Yeah, they
I
probably also were
interpreted
like, that's going to save us money that we can keep an eye on them.
Oh,
So, okay.
it's like all of the above, right? It's like
Right.
lack of privacy, this sort of like feeling of being watched, right? Where your work and your time spent is somehow scrutinized to that much more of a degree. That office, which used to be like exclusively the CNET office, had big old cubes. Were you ever there for that, Dan, or no?
Big cubes? I don't think so.
Cubicles.
No, we
Yeah,
had
I
the
wish I had a
standing
cubicle.
desks, and didn't we have standing desks? Then we could look over.
We had the
like
thing you
request
put
them.
on the standing desk.
Oh, the riser.
Yeah,
but
the
we
riser.
had like a foot high sort of like barrier
Right.
between
That's right.
us and the next person. But
The
there's no real
cubicles.
privacy.
I look back, like I remember it was not 4 months after going to the open office where I was like, I yearn for the cubicle. Like that, it was a little stupid pod, but god damn it, it was mine.
Yeah.
And you had privacy and you had a sense of like, I know there's no door here, but we've all had this social contract where it is kind of a door, and maybe you knock on the side.
cubicle wall.
Yeah, like it felt good. It felt like home. And then the it just was like constant feeling of being uncomfortable. And we had it for 4 years before COVID, when all offices were destroyed, as they
Including
should
that
have.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
including that one. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I bring it up because like it was, yeah. But Dan, when you ask, was it open air? Like, yeah, of course. That
Well,
was the
I mean,
thing.
but
There
there
was no
are some-
separation. Some people had offices. Like I think it was like VPs and up had offices.
But I've seen some where it's like there's not even like individuals. Like we had our spots, we had our desks. Like I've seen some where it's like, oh, you show up and you can reserve a room or a
sure,
table,
sure,
and like
sure.
you sit here. Like WWE had some of that where it's like, oh yeah, go here, sit here, and it's not. You don't even have your spot.
Yeah, that sucks. All right, this is the part of the show where we play catch up on any of the news that's happened during the week. Abby, is there
Real
anything you would like?
news?
Nope.
No.
Just updating our
Thank
own
God.
personal
I
bullshit.
got scared for a second.
No.
That's
Dan,
not what
do you
this show
think-
is.
Do you think as co-owner,
Yeah.
Backlar's entitled to know what Mike said?
Mike said no. If someone directly tells me, hey, this has to be between this
Yeah,
person,
I think
like,
you're right.
I don't breach that. So
Wait,
I'm
As
sorry.
the honorary inspector,
Yes, thank
director,
you. The arbitrator of
Yes.
the situation.
Yep.
Yes.
I think I need to know.
Right. So obviously that's not going to happen yet. I agree with you, Abby. You have all the grounds to stand on here. I don't know what they're talking about either. So apparently Mike said something behind closed doors that was really terrible. Now here's just
It's
what I'm
very
saying.
funny to me that it's just like it'll be one of those things where 5-10 years from now I'll see some Reddit thread be like, anyone know what did they ever say what Mike
Right.
said? And it's
Yep.
like, no.
So I am going to talk
That's
to
way
Mike
better.
privately now.
You can
try. You can
I don't think
try.
he's going to tell you. Here's what happened. If he tells you, and this is what he's thinking, if he tells you, he will see some light drain from your eyes, and he doesn't
Oh,
want
is
that.
that
He
bad,
likes that
huh?
you like him. He likes that
Yeah.
you like him. So,
There were
Yeah.
screenshots in Discord I'm looking at right now of my face when I read what it was. And,
What?
Can I
Wait,
see that? Can you share that with me?
Yeah, I can do that.
yeah, you can work backward from that.
Okay,
Follow-up
yeah.
question, and please, our honorary arbitrator, please chime in where it makes sense to
Sorry,
have
Mike.
some
I didn't mean to bring it back.
insight here. Where was this said?
It was. He was going to say it during Blight Club after an especially bad moment in the game where he was making a lot of progress and he just missed a jump. And we were being kind of shits to him, and he was mad, and we were like really piling on in that moment. And then he kind of like giggled to himself, and it's like that's when he's like, "Oh, I can't say that." And so
I think
himself.
I saw him say that on stream, where he's like, "I can't say that."
It was like
he probably was gonna. It was probably something racial.
Just to express his frustration.
It was not a heated gamer moment. Like
no, it was not. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Which I understand must be very. I would be wondering what the hell we were talking about if I was not.
And I'm sorry, but also it's very funny as well.
It is. It's very funny.
Yeah, it's too late for him. It's like everyone's going to be wondering for forever what he said.
Abby, doesn't this game suck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I feel like I need to say some slurs, and that'll make me giggle to my friends.
Yeah.
No slurs. No slurs.
I can't say it, but I'll send it over Discord.
Oh man, he sent it over Discord? That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he do that?
Did he delete it? Do you think? I think he probably deleted it, Dan.
Did he? Oh, he might have. Let's see.
Like I wouldn't want it just sitting there. So you and me.
So he just sent a private DM to the two of you. I see what's happening here. That's called collusion, isn't it?
I think he thought he was covering for himself too, because he did it and he said on the stream, he's like, I got to put it in quotes. So it's like,
God, what an
he deleted it. He deleted it.
Person.
He deleted it from our Discord.
So that is the problem. Is like we can't catch you up on what happened this week. We are bound, Bacalar. So I'm sorry.
It's fair.
Sorry.
It's fair. Let's move focus over back to Abby before we get into what we do here on this program. What is going on with you? What is new in your world? What's up? What's down? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I mean, aside from a tiny puppy who's entered my life, not a whole lot is new. Going to go to San Diego this weekend. Looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yep. Got a bathing suit for it.
San Diego's great. Like that place.
Yeah, we had a good time in San Diego.
Well, I've been a couple times, and they were both pretty brief, so I'm excited for a slightly longer time.
So bathing suit just for the city.
Well, I
special
go to the beach. I want to go to the beach.
Of course. I like that. That's a nice, like, buy yourself a thing to go to the place.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, I did that yesterday.
Oh yeah, I also all my bathing suits are old, so I needed a little refresh.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I bought a new bathing suit to go to the beach up in Lake Michigan the next week.
Hell yeah.
At Meyer yesterday. I'm like, I need a new bathing suit. So yeah, I did the exact same thing, and I was very excited about it. I just threw it in the back of the van.
Did you go to Dick's Sporting Goods too?
I should have, because I got a Dick's gift card for Christmas, and I haven't used it yet. Yeah.
Damn, it's June.
I think Dick's only makes money on gift cards.
Yeah.
Dick's has the best socks. Hands down. The DSG socks, they have it on the toe. Those are the best socks. I get ones that have like the vintage stripes on them. They are hands down the best socks. I've tried more expensive ones.
Are they Dick's
Sporting
brand?
Goods. Yes.
Okay.
DSG. It says it on the toe. Those are the best socks. They're comfortable. They stay soft. High quality. Give me that. I want to buy some socks.
Dib's birthday was a couple months ago. And my man's got like $1,000 of Dick's right here. It's just, that's all it is. That's it. I feel like their entire business model is gift cards. I don't know. All right. That's that. Thank you for the update, Abby Russell. Let's get into what we do here. If you couldn't tell, it's a call-in show. That's right. Believe it or not. 707 Exit Flu is the phone number. We're pivoting into the voicemails, everybody. Get excited because our dear guest, Abby, is going to pick the first one.
Okay, great. I mean, I feel like I have to pick Brooklyn. So I'm going to pick Brooklyn.
Why? What do you mean?
And we're going to play this. Just let me know if you guys don't hear anything. I think it should all work, but let's go for it.
Hello, Abby from Brooklyn. What's your favorite memory of Brooklyn? Also, any good stories about working with Mike Mahardy? Goodbye.
Wow. Is that Mike with the voice changer?
Yes.
No.
Maybe.
No.
My favorite memory of Brooklyn. I don't know if this... I have to think on it. I feel like, the thing about living in New York is you're not home most of the time. So I was mostly on Manhattan doing stuff. And then I would come home and sleep in Brooklyn. And also do stuff in Brooklyn. I don't have a good answer for this, basically.
So we have to call you Abby who slept in Brooklyn.
I loved my time in Brooklyn, don't get me wrong. But it's like...
my memories are... Queens is what
okay, I'll say my favorite memory of being in Brooklyn. I liked living with my two cats, Tater and Dirtbike. May she rest in peace. So I'm going to say memories with DB. I think having another pet really takes me back to when I had had a little dirt bike. So she's my favorite memory of Brooklyn.
Do you have a favorite place that you've lived, Abby? Like, was it Brooklyn? Is there somewhere else that you prefer, and like why?
That is an interesting question. I mean, I think for a long time, I feel like New York really shaped me. So that definitely feels important and meaningful. And I think Brooklyn is definitely one of my favorite places I've lived. Absolutely. The way I see it though is more like Brooklyn was great for me at the time.
Yeah.
And now LA is great for me. So I'm, it took a while for me to assimilate to LA culture. And now that I'm here and I, am with a partner who drives me around, quite frankly, is really the thing that helped. It has gotten much better. And I enjoy being outside and I enjoy the weather and, the food is amazing. And I live a very comfortable life. So that's all just to say that I appreciate the chapters of my life where I'm different places. And Brooklyn is definitely high up there. Very impactful for me and the person I am. I also love LA and I'm sure that's doing the same. I grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts for a bit. So that would probably be up there too, as an area that shaped me.
Yeah. If I had to live in a warm, big city, like a big city that's in a warm climate, I probably would choose LA. I think that's...
what's the other option? Florida?
I think I do
Florida,
San Diego.
I guess, like Phoenix.
Florida's not the option, let me tell you.
Yeah,
Mikey's going to move there.
No.
Mike's going to move there.
El Paso, I would go with LA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only option if you're speaking about the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially a place that's not overtaken with debilitating humidity, 100%.
We've thought about doing the snowbird thing that a lot of people here in Minnesota do, where it's for parts of the winter you just go to another place,
that's
drive.
a very old person thing to do.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, the other guy.
Yes,
I'm gonna winter in the south.
Oh well, Paul, the guy who cut down my tree, he's 80 and he goes to Palm Springs every winter. So we were thinking
80.
about where it's also cold for us at 40 and 33. So we were thinking maybe Arizona, get an Airbnb or whatever. What? Is that not a bad idea? No?
You know what? I think Will Smith does something along these lines where during summer break, not that Will Smith. His family did some stuff. They would rent an Airbnb for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so in Arizona with a pool, and they would work from there and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
that's a thing.
Drive down there, throw the dogs and the cat in there, just go down there for at least a few weeks, when the dead of February fucking sucks around here. So maybe just a few weeks in February.
My family will come and house sit yours because we like the cold. So we'll go there.
Excellent.
We'll just
I'll be there.
Do they like video games? Yeah, you guys can play whatever.
Yeah, I want to come too. I will say living in LA does make me... I want to do weather tourism. In the fall, I try to go to New England. Yeah. And in the winter, I want to see snow.
That's smart. You should definitely come up for the foliage, right? In the Northeast.
Right?
Just see the leaves change.
Exactly.
That's Dan, this is not a dig. Mm-hmm. What you are describing is a very retired senior citizen thing.
Oh, I believe that. I can see that. But also in the age where it's Bonk and I both work remote, we can still
100%.
Maybe it was less doable back in the day when it was just old retired people that could do it, and now younger remote people can do it. Yeah,
I think you're right.
It does mean you're voting Republican in the next election.
Yes, it is a slippery slope.
Do I have to sign something for that?
Because growing up, both sets of my grandparents lived exclusively in Florida for 4 or 5 months out of the year.
Do you think Mike Minotti makes it to 50 before he moves to Florida? Because he's already said he can hear it calling.
Buddy, I know he hears it calling. I'm not, that's obvious. That's just the baseline.
I think he's just too dead. This is good hokey. He's his family is so important to him. I think it'd be hard for him to move down to Florida and miss out on weekend stuff. Yeah, whatever. We're 90 minutes away. That's actually a pain. But that he's right there and do stuff every weekend. It'd be tough before I think those nephews and nieces are older. So how old is he now? I think he gets right on the other side of 50 and he's in Florida. Yeah.
And the whole family's there. Yeah. I mean, they're all Disney freaks.
But he's Orlando. He's not going to
Well, yeah, he's not going to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, he's not going to West Palm Beach or something like that.
No, he's not hanging out at Hogan's Beach Shop. He's going to Disney. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but that's he's definitely, which is its own flavor of Florida as it is, I feel like. All right. Well, thank you, caller. Thank you for answering, Abby. Let's pivot over to Dan.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with, how about we go with Squish?
Hey, this is Josh in Tulsa. I was just driving, and there was an apple in the road, and it made me think about whether Mike would run over the apple and try to squish it because he hates it so much, or if the thought of that is too gross for him to think about.
I bet he'd think it's gross. It's like when you step on a bug and you hear the crunch and stuff.
Like
it's like, oh, that's gross.
You like slip a little bit.
Yeah.
He would have to make this like split second decision where he's
just crash.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Where he's like, do I attempt to
running over an apple?
Right, like, do I attempt to avoid the apple and risk an accident in the process, or do I just like grin and bear it and listen to like applesauce?
I think he'd be willing to crash his car, I think.
And then set it on fire because it was near an apple.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like signs.
He would have to make he would have to like go like LiDAR, you know what I mean? And just make that calculation of like, all right, what's my accident percentage here? He would have to do this all in like a matter of like a tenth of a second. But
no, I think he would just make a funny yell and then crash. I think that's what he would do.
Airbags deploy, the whole thing.
Crash, yeah.
Why is that funny? Why is it
because
funny imagining
he makes funny
Minotti's
noises when he's mad or scared?
I'm just imagining Minotti's head bouncing off an airbag going, like that. That's funny to you?
Very funny. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Young man, what happened in the second? Did you see that apple behind me? Like, that's the apple? Oh, man. You don't know about this apple situation, Abby. We're not gonna bore you with
I should
it.
probably put two and two together.
He's got a phobia.
Texture thing.
No, he hasn't eaten them. He's got a phobia. It's
all the above. It's all the above.
He thinks they explode in your mouth.
Everyone's got problems.
Look, he's
right not to care.
messaging y'all slurs, so I don't think this is my business.
Minotti stock is plummeting with Abby. Let's just say.
Sorry, Mike. It wasn't a slur.
It sucks. I get it. I think he would do everything he could, but ultimately, if he had to run over the apple, he would. I think he would. But thank you, caller. That's a good thought experiment. Keep them coming. Jeff Grubb, you're up.
I'm going to go with Frasier.
Jan, you should absolutely watch Frasier. And don't listen to any of those assholes who tell you that Becker is not important. That show's fucking fantastic. Love you, buddy. Have a good one.
Caller, I just don't think anyone ever thinks about Becker ever. Like, people think about Frasier.
It's not important.
Right. And again, who is the most authoritative figure in importance?
Yeah.
You're looking at him.
You're right.
I just don't think Becker's important. I'm not saying Ted Danson isn't the
People don't talk about Becker.
People don't
even
talk
on
about
Ted
Becker.
Danson's Mount Rushmore? Because it would be The Good Place now. Cheers.
Curb. I would even put Curb before Becker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, would you say top 10 or just Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Saving Private Ryan. He's in Saving Private Ryan.
Sure.
Yeah, but no one ever thinks of him in Saving Private Ryan.
I know.
I would even put that HBO show he did with Jason Schwartzman.
He's got some lines I never stopped thinking about. Was that Better Off Dead? No.
Yeah, something like that. That show was great. That show was great.
Bored to
Have
Death.
You ever seen that,
Bored
Abby?
to Death. Yeah.
Did you ever see Bored to Death, Abby, on HBO?
No.
Really good.
Should I watch it?
Yeah, check it out.
All right, great.
Yeah, I just think like Becker is just it's just not there. I'm sorry, but Frasier's an important show.
Listen, you don't have to apologize to us. You have to apologize to Jan.
Yeah, Jan just got like he clinches onto stuff like that, you know.
Becker's, what was his generation's Cheers, I guess.
What? Okay. What's up, Dan? You got a problem?
Earlier, I just saw a chat thing when we were talking about the Mike thing, talking about how he doesn't think people should drink water. And on that note, I'm a very pro water guy. I was home and I got
brave of you.
Yeah, I know. I got a grandma. She's like, gotta be 85, 86. Short grandma. If you watch Kayla Stream, you probably heard of her. And
Short grandma?
Short grandma. She's
There's
like,
no tall grandmas, so
no, she's like sub 5 foot, basically. We've always called her short grandma. And she's completely there mentally. She's in good shape. She never exercises. And I found out, this is the first time I've heard this when I went home, she doesn't drink water. She refuses to drink water because she doesn't want to pee.
Oh my God. Just like the leader of the Riker pack. right? Just like the leader, like taking these insane bold stands of like not drinking water.
She's not even a Riker. She's my mom's mom. Like, and she just won't drink water because she doesn't want to pee. But then my sister says, but she also still pees because she drinks other stuff.
Because any liquid makes you pee.
But I don't think she drinks much of anything, really.
But like anything is like 99% water. But the reality is we get a massive amount of water from food. Like that's the thing that like that 8 glasses of water a day thing. The reason people are like that's not so important is because the reality is if you're eating enough normal food, you're getting enough water from your food that you don't quite need 8 glasses of water a day.
That's the explosion that happens in your mouth when you bite into an apple.
I see. That's how you hydrate. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so funny. Your grandma's like, I just don't want to pee.
She doesn't drive, doesn't want to pee, just a weird human being. Yeah.
The better way is just never drinking water. Fantastic.
Yeah, and she's mid-80s and perfectly healthy. And like my dad, his fucking health, his blood tests and everything are amazing, and he has the worst fucking diet I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that did bum me out. It's like, it's so genetics. What's the fucking point?
It is.
Honestly,
but you know what, Grub?
really bummed me out, Dan.
Grub. You know what? We just accept all these things that are put out there, and we're just meant to believe it. I want to see the fucking blood report. I want to see it.
I know, you're right.
I want to fucking see it.
He has better blood and cholesterol stuff than I do.
Cool.
I want to see him
it.
climb some stairs. That's the real
Oh, that's not going to go well.
Walk up a hill.
That won't go well.
He bought a house without them to avoid having to do so.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that stuff. Yeah, he's showing that. But hey, blood stuff. Good blood.
Look at me. Show me the test. Show me the test. Okay? Show it to me.
He does seem generally like way healthier than he should be for the diet that you described of shoving whole Klondike bars into ice cream and eating that, and then having an entire. He corrected me, Dan. Yeah, I was like, you have a sleeve of Chips Ahoy after every dinner. He's like, well, no, because the sleeves are not quite enough. I have a whole row of them, and it's the 2 side-by-side rows. So half a package of Chips Ahoy after every dinner.
Yeah, I think it's after every meal.
I can down some Chips Ahoy pretty easy.
Yeah, but you're like 24. It's not a big deal.
You move and leave.
You are
62 and doesn't leave the house.
Let's unpack that. What do you mean you're getting old? I saw you recently. You look great. You're fine.
Thank
What's
you.
the problem?
Well, I'm just saying, time, I can't make it stop.
Yeah, time's linear. It sucks.
I'm 32 now.
That was your gimmick when you started the Giant Bomb. You were always talking about, like, I'm young, and you give us shit for being old. Now you are as old as we were back then.
It was more the other way around. You guys were insecure about your age, and you had to keep bringing it up.
It doesn't feel good.
What are you talking about?
That's what you would do. I remember very vividly in the podcast studio. I would have someone behind glass pointing at me, making fun of how old I am, telling me how stupid and ugly I was all the time.
I was very abusive when we worked together.
Yeah, but no one was like, this isn't fun, I do remember that, and you took advantage of like being young, as you should have, 100%, and I still see you as young, but... Yeah,
relatively speaking.
Cry me a river is what I'm trying to say.
I don't mind getting old, but I'm just saying. Yeah. You get one of those like grocery store cookie packs, Oreos or Chips Ahoy.
They do. You're right. Too easy.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Yeah. Like they're designed to like you kind of like dissolve in your mouth, so you don't feel like you're getting satiated.
There's just the right amount of sweet and salty. Sweet tea, as I like to call it.
Sweet tea. Yeah. I could do the same.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think even if I had to.
You're a better person than us. We get it back.
No, I mean, look, everyone knows that, but also like the fact that like I couldn't realistically see a sleeve of cookies and even get like a third of the way through before I'm like, what am I doing?
No, I don't.
Like that would just kick in
just
for me.
Working dopamine receptors and stuff like that. Yeah. Like me, I'm like, I need this to feel something.
I think I think Jeff has internalized shame.
It could be.
I'm like, life is eating some cookies sometimes.
Yeah, but I've already had 7. And you're going to be like, no, you need to have 21.
I'll let my body tell me when it's time to stop.
It sometimes doesn't know what it wants or needs, but whatever.
Having that 5-pound bag of Reese's Pieces in the house was a real threat for me.
Yeah, how'd that go? Yeah.
I just, after many meals, would just take a giant handful of them and just shove them in my face. And
You don't even like eat them one at a time. You just put them all in your mouth at once.
You eat candies one at a time?
Like a Tic Tac? That's psycho behavior, Bacalar.
What
Come
the
on,
fuck
man.
are you talking about?
That's a mint. How many are
First
you?
of all, why are we
Eating at a
conflating
Three.
Reese's Pieces and Tic Tacs?
Just like the idea of like eating
Because you would eat one
piece
Tic
of
Tac
candy.
because it's like a mint. You have one Altoid. You don't have a handful of Altoids. You have a fucking handful of Reese's Pieces or Skittles or M&Ms.
M&Ms, I'll put peanut M&Ms. I'll put 2 in my mouth at once.
I'll do 7 to 9.
7 to
Peanut
9?
I feel like you
Yeah.
eat one at a time for a lot of those small treats, though. But you eat
I'll do
like
it with
a bunch,
combos.
but you start with one at a time.
Combos I do one at a time because you can like
there's work
nibble
to
the
do. There's work
well,
to
no,
do.
because I like to nibble the pretzel along because I just want kind of the like sauce tube at the end because that's my favorite part. So I kind of like
Preach.
nibble the pretzel around and then I eat the sauce tube.
Jesus Christ.
Preach, brother,
I don't ever want to
preach.
be in the room while this is happening.
Yeah, I hated that.
Go! You know what was the worst? When we were driving to the lake last weekend, it's 96, 97 degrees in Kayla's car, my sister. On the like at the beginning of the trip, she stops at a lobster roll food truck in Kansas and buys a like garlic lobster roll and just houses this thing in the car, windows up, super hot, and she's just belching. And I like lobster, but okay, so
Not
this too
anymore.
also, she didn't tell me both ways to the lake, which was like an hour. She turned my seat heat on super high to see how long it would take me to notice, and I didn't notice either time. So I'm sitting in a fucking super hot seat, windows up, 97 degrees, lobster burps the whole fucking way.
Kayla.
That's awful.
What?
Kayla is
on
fucking
earth?
awesome.
No, you know, oh, yeah,
That's
right.
awesome.
Dan,
Abby,
how
Abby
do you
is in
not
Abby.
notice?
How amazing is that story? Like, don't you want to meet this person?
Yeah, Kayla.
No, I want to be nowhere near this person.
First of all, where did they find this lobster in Kansas?
I know. I had never seen it before.
Yeah,
Apparently,
that is
food trucks are a
disgusting.
thing
That's
now.
the
They're-
worst part of it.
Literally the most landlocked motherfucking state in the country. Where is
Yeah.
this coming from?
It was in Shawnee, Kansas. They got a lobster food truck now, and oh boy, she says they taste great, but they don't smell great.
That aside, she houses this thing. All right.
Yeah, while
inhales
driving,
it.
eats a whole lobster roll, and it just. And if you've seen her streams, she has the most
she
thunderous belches I have. It's like part of her deal on her streams is like
Yeah.
rating the burps, and like she's done this since she was like 5 years old. Like more like Barney Gumble on The Simpsons. I'm not kidding. Is like nothing
Booger.
compared
It's
to
like
Kayla's.
Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. It's like that kind of shit.
It's crazy. Yeah, she did it the whole way. Yeah.
She employed.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, she is.
Why are you hiring?
We're gonna have
I'm
her
always
on.
curious if this kind of stuff travels to the workplace, but I mean, who am I to judge? I came from Giant Bomb. You know what I mean?
Oh, it sounds like you're trying to cancel Kayla. Is what
Call her job up. Get her fired. No. I'm
you
just kidding.
you hear what she did with those lobster burps? Did you hear that?
Wait,
lot.
why was your car so hot?
Because it was 97 degrees outside and the windows were up, and she turned my seat heat on high both
Did
ways,
you not
and I
like have
didn't
air
notice.
conditioning?
She had AC on, but it was still just like a muggy, fucking horrible day, you know?
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
what I don't get. Like, even in a car with a little bit of AC, it's tolerable, and you just
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
realize, like, why is my ass on fire?
Yeah, but also, yeah, like rolling down the window to get the burp smells out would have brought in so much humidity and everything too. So it was just it was a very delicate ecosystem in there.
Oh God, how long was the ride?
It's like an hour each way. And again, both times we got to our destination, she's like, "Did you not notice that I turned her seat heat on high?" And I was like, "Oh, that's why. I guess it is really hot."
She did.
Yeah.
Wait, she did that. She did this on the way there. Told
Yeah.
you then.
Yep,
Then you drove back. She did it again, and you did not notice that second time either.
that is correct. The
Don't
entire time.
understand.
Yeah.
Like, don't you? There's what are we trying to get at here?
that
Abby?
like,
what?
sensations are not registering on this person.
It's not a
Like, I think
sensation
you've, I
thing.
think
It
you've
is
got some sensors that are broken.
I don't
you
even
know?
think it's just like a physical sensation thing. 'Cause there are just things I won't notice, like with my eyes or brain, that should be very obvious. So I think it's just my brain more
you know,
than
in
my
a car-
physical sensors.
Yeah, like, well, yeah. Well, it's still like the idiot lights in a car that go off. I just feel like yours aren't working. You know,
I mean,
like change oil.
It's probably
you
the
know?
same part of my brain that. Well, oh no, Kayla's the one who filled her whole fucking car up with diesel gas and then it shut down. And she was like, when she was like starting to spray it, she's like, "Oh, weird, this nozzle doesn't fit in my car." And so she
no.
held it away and just had to squirt it in there until she got a full tank. And she was
That's
a
not
track coach,
okay.
and so she was like transporting her students to a track meet, and the car broke down on the highway.
person was responsible for children.
She was a teacher.
Look, it's Kansas. There's no laws.
dude. Yeah, to be fair, like, come on.
She'll be on
look at
Wednesday on
don't look
Delay
at any
Club.
lists with that. What? What? She put
And everyone's saying,
diesel?
everyone's saying, it's the Riker genes. Again, she's not even a Riker. She's not related by blood to my dad at all.
No,
But
this is just the transitive
that
property.
does drink water, though, right?
Yeah.
She is the granddaughter of the woman who won't drink water, yes.
So it's like there's lineages there. It's all
And
working together.
she used to get her burgers at McDonald's, no meat.
How many people are making it out of Kansas? Like that's I think that's my
Hopefully
question.
fewer and fewer every day.
That's my point. I don't think a lot are, and I think the ones that are like squeaking through are just doing this, walking around putting diesel in cars, saying they don't need water. Fucking, what's happening?
think maybe me and others in my family are maybe weird by Kansas standards. I don't want to speak for the whole state.
But
I
that
don't
we're all
know,
like
man.
this.
There's so many of you.
So, like, do we need to put a wall up around Kansas?
Yeah, like the middle ship from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the one that they like lost on accident. They put all the weirdos on that ship, and like, I guess we just can't find that ship anymore. We should do that.
Yes. Like, would anyone really notice?
No.
Like,
I will
all
say,
due
I
respect.
went to Kansas City on a road
I've
trip
been
last
there.
year, and it was lovely. I was shocked. One of my favorite parts of the trip.
Which Kansas City?
Both. What you don't know is
okay.
it's one, and it's just
Yeah.
split in half by
The
the
state
different
line.
states.
Yeah, right.
We
So
talked
the
to
good
somebody
part-
who
so the good
lived
part,
in one
right?
and worked in the other, and then they were like, "Yeah, I have to pay
Yeah.
taxes in both." And I was
And
like,
everything that anyone knows is on the Missouri side. The sports teams, the downtown, it's
Yeah, it's
all
all-
like,
well,
it's like
we
a
went to the
racetrack.
museum, which I think was in the Kansas side,
Which museum?
the art museum
The
that has
Nelson?
the big
The shuttlecocks?
shuttlecock. Yeah.
No, that's Missouri.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
well, good to
Kansas
know.
side is just like suburbs and like a racetrack, basically, and the water park where that congressman's kid got decapitated. That's all that's on the
God.
Kansas side. Yeah,
Wow, really something to hang your hat on there. Cool job.
they tore it
forgot
down.
about
They
that.
tore it down. It's fine.
I like
went
Abby being
there-
on the show
yeah.
because she's got a good gasp, and for some reason we're making her gasp a lot on this episode.
For some reason is really doing a lot of work here.
So we're all in agreement the wall would like go right through the town, right?
Yes.
We're okay with that?
Yeah.
Everyone's okay with that?
Hey, you know
Okay.
what? Throw Missouri into the wall.
I mean,
Yeah.
Missouri. I think Missouri sucks worse than Kansas
Yeah,
for
throw
sure.
it into the
Like,
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
quarantine the whole area.
Tomato, Jesus Christ.
Kansas
that's a
fought
lot.
for the North.
Oh, that's good
Cool.
to know.
Yeah,
Honestly,
cool.
that is
Free
a thing to be
state.
proud of.
It's the free state. Yeah,
That's where John Brown was
Yes,
at, like
yes.
killing people, and like I'm like, okay, Kansas had one cool thing. John Brown rules.
yeah. And all the slavers from Minnesota kept coming over and burning down my college town. And meanwhile, we had John Brown
Fucking
killing people.
44
just-
calibers, just taking them all out. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it's come to. That's got to be the slogan. You know,
So at least we had
don't,
John Brown.
don't forget we fought for the North, okay? That's it. Jesus.
Hey, my county gave us Paul Rudd and Jason Sudeikis, and we got a lot of good folks coming from where I'm from.
Yeah, you've named two people.
They're
all
nice.
right. Let's go to me. It's my turn. Pivot we must. Let's do creepy face mugs.
Hey, Dumpers. Kyle from Ohio here. Question for Abby. You were doing all those cool, you were throwing all those cool face mugs, those like creepy, weird faces on those mugs. What's your current, creative expression, your creative outlet? What are you currently doing and tinkering around with? Thanks.
Wow. Fun question. And my fun answer is I'm taking ceramics classes at the local community college.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
I
so
am
cool.
a student enrolled. I get student discounts legitimately versus just with my 10-year-old, really like 11-year-old student ID that really is not legitimate, but I have
Yeah.
a legitimate one now. But yeah, I'm taking real classes in ceramics. It's very fun. Go to your local community college. You can take classes in anything. You can take fitness classes that are way cheaper. Get once a week like biking
Oh, wow.
class if you want. You know what I mean?
That's
Aerobics,
a hack. I
whatever.
didn't think about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They're so affordable and it's so much fun. Get to meet a bunch of different people. Although, I'm going to tell a story that I don't know if I've told publicly before,
Ooh,
but I'm
buckle
going
in.
to tell it now. I met someone who I liked. I was like, great, a new friend in my art classes, my ceramics classes, and I was like, yeah, sign up to for the next one with me, and she did.
Yeah.
And then she was affected by the fires that happened. Her house didn't burn down, but she lives in Altadena. So it was like they were in a hotel. It was not safe. So I was like, okay, let's take the friendship to the next level. Invited her and her fiance over for dinner. And it was so awful. They argued the whole time. I wanted them to leave my house. It was like they were so rotten with each other. I couldn't believe it.
Jesus.
And then the worst part, halfway through, they were transphobic. And I was like, get out of my house. And the worst part of it all is we create a loving, lovely environment in our home.
Apparently not.
So they wouldn't leave. They were having an amazing time. I did that thing where you take the plates out from in front of them to go wash. I stood up at the table for 20 minutes. They continued sitting at the table. I couldn't get them out of my damn house. And then I had to see her in class after.
Did you try to come up with a plan to all right, time to enshittify this environment. We got to make this house worse.
Eat a lobster roll and start burping.
Yeah.
I mean, their seat's all hot.
Yeah. Oh my, honestly, Abby, I'm sorry this happened to you, but
Thank
it's
you.
really funny.
It is.
It's a good
Yeah.
story.
Very
And I
funny.
knew that it would be at the time, but I was like, God, get the fuck out of my house. I
It was just
so
you and
upset.
these two?
Well, my partner too.
Oh, yeah.
And my cat.
I mean,
We
who?
didn't have my
That's
son yet, but
it's so weird that people just volunteer that behavior.
it was nuts. I was gobsmacked. I was like, no, you can't be like that. Not this day and age.
So I didn't hear the follow up. So how have you cut her off?
So I would see her in class. I think she knew it didn't go over super well because those offers weren't coming anymore. I was polite. I was friendly enough, but I wasn't as approaching her or taking it to the next level. And then this is a little sadder because I think it was so stressful. I think she went back home with her family for a while. So I got sort of an easy out. I didn't follow up. I didn't text her about it and ask, which I would have done beforehand. But yeah, she just kind of disappeared from the class. And I assume she went back home with her family because it was a little untenable to live where she was living. So it's a little bit sad. I hope they figured out their shit. They were in a bad situation. Also, bring some love in your heart. God, that was so awful to be
Do you
around.
ever think what did I do to make them think they could talk like that?
There is a type of person that it's crazy how quickly they will bring up their grievances like that.
Do you think
they're never thinking about anything else? They're certainly back I know I felt that implication before of did I give off vibes that this
Sure.
There's no way. They're not thinking about that at all. They're not thinking about your vibes. They're just everyone feels the way I feel. It's impossible to have any other opinion than mine.
It it wasn't they started being a rant about trans people. It was they were talking about their kid having a trans half sibling or something, but then kept dead naming them and all this stuff. And we were correcting them of stepsister, actually, that's your son's stepsister. And they just wouldn't hear any of it. So that was the craziest part is it wasn't even a debate about trans people. It was they were fighting about semantics of this stupid trip they went on and then also being transphobic on top of it. Anyway,
incredible.
Wow.
It was awful. I couldn't get over it.
You live, you learn, right?
Does that make you less likely to do something like that in the future? Because when I have those experiences, I'm why do I even try to have friends?
I
Why am I
love
talking to people?
having love in my heart. And I think
you're a
I
better
am also
person.
of the mindset that they are not in a healthy relationship and that brings out the worst in people and they're in a very stressful
good
time.
point.
Doesn't excuse the transphobia, of course, and doesn't make me want to spend more time with them. But I'm at peace with you know what? They need to figure out their shit. Everybody's on their own journey. I hope they do. I don't need to be around for it. And I would like to continue to open my heart to the good people of my ceramics classes, which on the whole seem to be very good. But we don't bring up trans people perhaps enough, I'm learning.
I'm surprised that came out of a ceramics class. That's very
at a
that's even
community
more
college,
upsetting. Come on. What's happening? Well, thanks for sharing that story, Abby.
Abby, how's the Japanese coming?
I was never learning Japanese, so
Spanish,
I would say
Spanish.
really bad. Spanish, going
it's
well.
the same thing.
All those languages.
I
Spanish
simply
is great.
conflated because when I was using games to learn language, it was Japanese, and now I forgot. Yes, Spanish in Animal Crossing. I remembered eventually. Yeah.
Bien.
Oh.
Gracias.
So it's going well, it sounds like.
Yes. Sí.
Perfect.
Yep. I feel like we're just speaking Spanish.
I
you and me.
can read a little bit is sort of where I'm at with the Spanish, but don't ask me to say anything.
Okay.
If you give me a Spanish word, I could maybe tell you what it means.
Okay.
Naranja.
Sorry, say it again.
Naranja.
That's Spanish? Naranja?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, is that
It's been a
like an
while.
orange?
Yeah.
Nice. Good work, us.
Yeah.
High five, Dan. That's
Yeah.
exciting. I've only ever read it, so hearing it, I'm like, is that how you say
I
it?
think you said it exactly right, but
Yes,
that's
I
fine.
did. Yes.
No, you did.
all
I
right,
know.
gr-
That was not.
Great job. Obviously, we're all
you.
very learned people here, right? Of course. Brilliant podcast. Well done. YouTube chat. It was your turn to pick a voicemail, and they chose rent free.
Hey, it's Kurt from Austin. What are some commercials that live rent-free in your head? For me, it's the bitter beer face commercial, the one that had
sure.
the guy without teeth making a weird face. And then also another beer commercial, the and twins.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. They had those fucking twins at WrestleMania. That commercial was so big. They had
Of
Snoop
course they
Dogg
did.
and the twins have like a pillow fight or something. Mine is the Aaron Burr milk ad.
Sure.
Like the guy's like shoving a bunch of bread and milk in his mouth, and it's a radio contest, and it's like, oh, who shot Alexander Hamilton? And he's like, Aaron Burr. You know?
Yeah.
Like that one.
Pretty
yeah.
good. I like that the berries and cream guy.
Oh yeah.
The Starburst.
When I shave and cut my hair, I look just like that guy.
For real.
Not exactly like it, but at points in my past, I've definitely had like, oh man, I got the same complexion as this little lad who likes berries and cream.
I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream. Have you seen that? It's very good. It's very good.
The one is I think it's for Swiffer or something like that, and it's an old lady and her old husband, and they're like talking about getting a Swiffer, and she gets really excited. And she's like, that's my husband, Morty Kaufman. And I think about Morty Kaufman a lot. I guess he's real as well. So, yeah, shouts to Morty Kaufman.
What about you, Abby? Did you go? I can't remember.
Gonna be really honest with you. I was
You've never
riding the
seen a
high of
commercial.
knowing what orange means in Spanish, and I completely missed the question.
So you're a commercial that has stayed with you forever that you constantly think about.
Actually, I think I have a fun answer to this one, which is I always loved those like lottery commercials, which was like a bunch of little cute animals. It would be like rabbits and teacups. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, it's like a
those are
local
usually
lottery.
regional, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was, because what was crazy is it was like a lottery commercial that had like cute animals, and that was kind of the whole thing. And then like 10 years later, probably, I started doing improv, and one of the people I was on a team with like made that commercial. They wrote that commercial.
Oh, no shit.
That was crazy. Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I thought that was fun. And then also the gum one where they're like saying fake swears. That one's a classic.
I don't remember that one.
You don't know that one?
No.
Like
so.
lip licker, I think was one of them.
Oh,
Whoa.
you little lip licker?
Yeah, see?
Dan,
You know.
that's what Mike sent us.
Oh,
Mike-
lint liquor. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Yeah. You little lint liquor,
Lint
right?
liquor,
Like that.
that's what it was.
It's good. Hell yeah, that's a good one.
Abby, we do have a question coming in for you from the chat from one Jan Ochoa in the chat.
Okay, great.
Do you know where the Philippines are?
I do.
Where?
South Asia, correct? Sort of near Vietnam and like Thailand.
Yeah.
That is correct. Okay,
Phew.
great.
Who doesn't know where they are?
Yes.
Minotti.
Yes.
He's on this show right now with you.
Might have thought they
Dan,
were
where'd
in
you
the
think they were?
The Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
It just sounded. It sounded like islands. When I think of islands,
Although the Caribbean actually, no, I don't get it.
What do you
if you said
mean?
like South America,
honestly,
I'd be like,
you
sure.
give me any islands, and I'm just going to assume it's in the Caribbean.
Any
Yeah,
island.
that's where they
Well,
all
outside
are.
of, like, I know Hawaii and Samoa, and I guess Japan's an island. But I just heard the Philippine Islands, and I thought like, oh, it must be by the Dominican Republic and Cuba and stuff.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I don't now though. I learned.
Truly fascinating.
Oh,
know
another
now.
commercial. J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
That was from Curb too, right?
Or was that Seinfeld? Or it was Curb. Yeah, it was Curb. Yeah. The
Yeah, the most
Bye,
recent
Man.
season, I think. Yeah.
People
I
in
haven't
chat
seen
were
the
talking
most
about that Folgers commercial where it's like really
Oh, the
romantic.
incest commercial?
Yeah.
Those are a long time ago, right?
Yes. But it's like popular again
Yeah,
now.
those commercials are nuts.
Because they were continuing a narrative, right? They were continuing like a soap opera narrative or something like that.
No, I think it was just like
I think
implying
it's more
that
just
it was.
like the internet returned and you could watch it
Oh.
at any time. You know what I mean? So it was like, hey, remember this?
I only remember like hearing my cousins talk about it, be like, "Do you think she's with him?" or something like that. About that, there was like romantic controversy or something, right?
Where's
I
my
was-
front stick with a party
the-
popper when you need him?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Last time back when I was talking about incest, he set off a party popper. Yeah.
I just realized the old overstock.com commercials with the lady talking about the O. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I very much.
Wait.
Yeah, they aired a lot. Yeah, it was just a lady, I think, wearing not many clothes. But it was like classy. It was like she was wearing a necklace and it was just her shoulders.
Yeah,
you know?
it wasn't like a Sega Saturn commercial. Yeah.
It wasn't like horny.
Classy.
Well, it's probably pretty horny. But yeah, it was just a lady being like, oh, do you know about the O? The O? I like the O or whatever. And it was overstock.com. And I just remember those stuck with me.
Cool.
You know what commercial I love is, and I hope they bring it back, are the Quiznos commercials.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
also
sank
bring back
the
the
company.
Quiznos.
They sank the company, those commercials. Yeah.
What? The
They-
ones with the
wait,
little
the-
guys singing? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
The
Those
abominations
commercials are a
against
hit.
Christ. Yes.
Wait, you think the commercials sank the company? Is that true?
I think
that's the thing. I think because like Quiznos had to close like most of their locations, and I do remember reading about like that the ad campaign was this risky thing that was wound up being terrible for their business.
Really?
What?
Because everyone's like, oh, it's these weird little hairy fuckers are selling sandwiches.
Yeah, with no
Like,
lips, but a lot of teeth.
Yeah,
Like,
people
it
did
was
not like those dudes.
The least appetizing
loved
character
them.
design.
No, they were like worse than the PSP squirrels.
Yeah, or the racist
PSP.
PSP ads.
Wait,
Those are
what?
European. Oh, you don't know the
Mike
racist
about 'em.
PSP ads?
No, maybe I do. I
It was
don't know.
literally okay. There's a billboard in England. Crub and I remember this. It was okay. What was it? It was a black and white billboard, and I believe it was like it was when the white PSPs were coming out. And the
How would
tagline
you
said,
advertise the new white PSP?
Oh, no.
They showed a white woman. Was she choking a
She was like
black
holding
man?
the black woman by the throat.
Yeah, and it said "white is better" on it.
Stop it.
No,
Okay, no,
I gotta
I'm
find
looking
it.
at it. It says PlayStation Portable White is coming, but it is a mad-looking white woman with her hand on a black woman's like face, like this, going like.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
Okay, yep, I see it here. I see it. Okay, I can link it in the chat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not good.
What a choice!
Yeah,
What
here, I'll
were
put-
they thinking?
Yeah, here it is
They
in
were
the chat.
thinking we're European. Like I honestly
Even oh, sure. Even the person like putting up the poster, would
Yeah.
just be like, "You seeing what we're doing
Like,
here?
hey, did we print this
this-
wrong? What's going on?
Did this get printed? Is this like?
are the colors off here?
Did someone really fuck up this job here? Wow.
And then the other one where it was about the back touch on the Vita, and
Yes.
so there was a lady and she had boobs on her back, and they're like, this is even better than boobs on
Oh
a back.
God!
Yeah.
Boobs on a back are not good. Who's
No,
gonna get horny
that's
for
bad.
boobs on a back?
Yeah.
That sounds just like what a nightmare body horror situation.
It's like the 3 boobs in Total Recall is like, is this a good thing?
Yeah.
Too many
Maybe
boobs.
you wish I had 3 hands. I'm like, no, I'm good.
No, 2 seems fine.
2 seems fine.
Cool. All right. Well, we have to pivot into the next voicemail. Thank you to the YouTube chat. We're going to pivot over to the Twitch chat, and they chose accidental food.
Hey, jumpers! I just got a accidental beef and cheddar from Arby's. I've never had one before, and it sucks shit. So I have to ask, what's the worst accidental food item you've ever gotten from a restaurant? Congrats on independence. Love you. Bye.
I had accidental mustard, and that was good. So
I don't understand what happened here.
I think
So
maybe he
it's-
got the wrong order.
Yeah, or they added a
then
slice
ate
of
it.
cheddar to his thing by accident.
The cheddar at Arby's is not the best. Yes, I know the beef and cheddars is like my brand or whatever. But just give me a regular roast beef classic. I don't need the actual cheddar on there.
Ooh, I like
But
that
what
kind of
was
cheddar.
but have you had like a situation where you're like, I didn't order this, but I'm gonna try it and it's bad?
If I didn't order and they give it to me, I typically speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Or
ever?
if it's like a little bit wrong, I'll just be like, okay, that's fine, and then eat it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a little bit wrong,
the
I've definitely tried
situation.
stuff, and it's usually been like, this is fine.
Yeah, I'm like,
Usually.
okay, sure.
This isn't exactly answering the caller's question here. Thank you, caller. But I'm still getting those snack boxes, those international snack boxes. I don't know if you're following along. A couple months ago, my sister-in-law bought me like a snack box.
Right.
And it just keeps coming. And I don't want to say anything because she's probably still paying for it, and I kind of enjoy it. It's this whole real, who knows how to solve this problem. I'm still going to eat all this snack food. Yesterday, a new box came. This is now 5 boxes. And it was like chia. Oh no, it was basil seed tea from Vietnam, I think. And it had what I can only describe as like strawberry seeds suspended in a gelatinous liquid that inside of a soda bottle.
That's like Orbits. Remember Orbits?
Yeah, but this is not that. It is something. It is quite an abomination. And I don't know. Like I guess they're basil seeds, right? That makes sense. I don't want that, but like I just couldn't believe what I was looking at. And they're all like perfectly sort of spaced out. Like it's not viscous. They're just sort of suspended.
Like the PX nerve gas orbs?
Yes, exactly. Like they're like perfectly displaced little seeds in this gross, what I can only imagine is as thick as like fucking molasses. Like it is just rotten.
Why'd you say
looking.
molasses with so much hate in your voice?
No, just the like sort of texture and consistency of molasses. Sure. The molasses is delicious. You know what I'm saying, man. And my poor sister-in-law, she just doesn't want to stop paying for it. I guess I don't know. That's her problem.
Maybe she's happy to do it. You don't know. You haven't asked.
Yeah, or maybe she has no idea, and and no one's telling her. But whatever. Who knows what's going to happen here? Anyway, that's my accidental food.
I feel like I've never, because I've always been so picky about, inspecting every, sandwich and stuff that I get to make sure it's the right thing before I eat it. But I did accidentally once mean to drink from my Rolling Rock bottle while I was playing poker in college. And I instead drank from the Rolling Rock bottle that was my friend Jared's tobacco chew spit bottle.
Oh, no.
I took a big old swig and I swallowed the tobacco spit. And I threw up in my sink.
Oh, that's awful.
God.
It wasn't good.
I gotta erase that from my memory.
I did not listen.
Real quick.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. I shit you not. I'm not at like level 8, but I'm like level 3 of nausea.
I took the huge swig, and then my first thought was, "Ooh, why is this warm?" And then I thought, "Oh, why is there a minty quality to this?" And then I look over at Jared, and he's looking at me like I see the horror in his eyes. Like, oh, and then I swallowed it, and I was like, "Okay," and I went and I puked.
Okay, we're done. We're not talking about that story anymore. Put your headphones back on.
Okay.
Sure. It's a safe space. Dan, awful. I'm going to ask you to never speak of that again.
I could describe it in more detail if you like.
If you could only never do that again. I have a funny version of that that's way not gross at all, and I'll be happy to tell it.
Palate cleanser.
One time
Dan took his headphones off, audio listener.
Son of a bitch. So, you go out for hibachi or sushi, whatever it is, and you get edamame, and you're having a great conversation. You don't realize like what's, you're just sort of dipping in, putting your hand in the bowl, putting that edamame in your mouth, getting the pods out, and then one time you accidentally take a handful of the chewed
spitty ones.
Spitty ones in your mouth. It's a victimless crime, but it happened to me, and that was gross.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're the victim of the crime, actually. You crimed yourself.
I deserved it. I earned it. And I also played it off like I didn't do it. I also played it off where I was like...
That's so funny.
I did a series of sleight of hand motions where I kind of like...
We're like, I meant to. Yum, yum.
Yeah. And none were the wiser, let me tell you. Yeah. That's it. All right. Very good. We're going to wrap back around to you, Abby. You've got the next choice.
Okay, let's see. What's late in life?
I was 35 years old before I realized that the show House was called House because the main character is a type and shadow of Sherlock Holmes, and I only learned it because my favorite video game podcast taught it to me. What the frick? What's something that you learned way too late in life? Dan, you probably shouldn't answer this. Love you, bye.
You said the words and took them right out of my mouth. Dan, just go for a walk or something. Yes, I'm with you. When Grub was saying it, it didn't even register to me. Like, I heard it, but I didn't unpack it. And that blew my mind. I did not know that either. So, caller, there's nothing.
Chances, why is he not called Holst?
I didn't know it either.
Yeah, not
That's
exactly
not
the
like a
same.
miles tails per
Here,
hour
here.
thing. That's like kind of obvious. And I'm dumb for not realizing that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the house
I-
thing. There's
I
a
don't
few
know.
steps there. You know.
I watched House, and then after like a few episodes, it was like, oh, they're doing a Sherlock Holmes character, and then it was like, oh, and then I looked it up, and it's like, yes, that's what they were going for there.
Oh, okay.
It's kind
Never
of
saw
a
House.
slick. It's kind of a slick
Is
tip
he
of
a
the
doctor
hat.
though? He's not a detective.
Yeah, he's a
He's a
doctor
doctor detective.
version of House is the idea, or of Holmes.
detective
excuse
for
me.
bodies.
He's a
Yes.
detective.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know.
That's fun.
I know. That's what they were gonna call it. And then and then House.
These happen to be all the time, but I don't like keep a mental list of them, so it's like hard to think of one that happened recently. They happen on shows all the time, so if chat has any ones they want to like remind us about, but
That's
Yeah, I don't
actually
know.
what the internet used to be. The internet used to just be lists of that.
Silly
Yeah,
facts.
things
Like
you
it
realize,
was just
yeah.
right. It was like 100 things to do when you're bored on an elevator. Like
Yeah.
that's
So
what it
true.
used to be. You know?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I have one though.
Yeah. What's up?
Growing up in New England, I always thought Martha's Vineyard was like a resort owned by Martha Stewart, and that is not what it is at all.
I think I thought that too.
Yeah, right.
I remember.
It's the intuitive thing to think.
No, I think I
it's
remember
intuitive to think it's
I think I heard about it in like the late 90s. It was probably like 97, 98, and I think they were talking about, the Clintons go to Martha's Vineyard, and this is around the time that Martha Stewart was always like in the news.
Yeah.
And I think I put it in my head that like, she must have a big vineyard and famous people go there.
Imagine having.
Yeah.
Imagine having cornered the market on all Marthas, where you are just.
That's her power. I love Martha
What,
Stewart.
That's
Washington?
tremendous.
Like, what are the other big Marthas?
Yeah, I get it. She's
Exactly.
the first
Here, here.
Martha. You know.
One and only.
God damn.
There's Stewart and Washington.
Shit, I guess you're right. No notes. And
Batman's
did
mom,
you ever
Superman's
finally
mom.
go? Did you ever finally have you been to
Nope,
Martha's
never
Vineyard?
been.
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, great. Martha
Is that
there?
close to? I went to the Hamptons for my Hardy's bachelor party.
No, it's
Is-
Of course you
it's,
did.
it's-
different.
it's-
Of course,
it's
he
Cape
had it in the
Cod.
Hamptons, and we went to a vineyard. Yeah.
I mean,
God.
it's the furthest way part of Long Island, but
Okay,
it's
okay.
Cape Cod.
Okay.
Yeah, different, completely different state.
I don't know if this is like it's like a fun fact I liked realizing. I don't know if it's one I should have put two and two together, but like the idea, and this is one I brought before, so that Steve Young is related to Brigham Young because Brigham Young had like 70 wives. So of course, like every Young that is famous actually probably is just related back to Brigham Young.
That's
And
Mighty Joe.
Mighty Joe Young, yes, definitely. He's like a great grandnephew. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Huh.
yeah.
I used to think, I don't know why, and this is a really weird one. For the longest time, I used to think that Sarah Silverman and Jonathan Silverman were brother and sister. Jonathan Silverman is the dude from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, yep, they're brother and sister. And I don't know why. And I would like tell this what I thought was like this fun little fact to people. And they'd be like, huh. And it's not something you vet on the spot. You're just sort of like, yeah, I guess that tracks. They like kind of look alike. And then one day I found out and I was like, oh man, that's like 20 years of telling people that shit. That fucking sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought Fugazi and Fushigi were the same word.
Okay, well,
What are
Weird.
either?
Japanese hasn't been going well, I see.
No, it's not been going great. For some reason, I've been studying Spanish and I just didn't realize it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Look, it's nice to be honest, and I'm glad we're doing it.
I just never
You know?
thought about either word that much. And it's like I just kind of heard them a couple times. I'm like, okay. I'll just put those in the same file in my brain and never think about it again. And then that didn't work out.
Sure, makes sense. All right, we only got time for a few more here. So, Abby, we're gonna cancel the order. We're just gonna let you have the next pick again.
Okay, cheese.
Hey guys, do you think that you dip things into cheese more often, or do you dip cheese into things? For example, dipping pizza into sauce, that's dipping cheese into things. Mozzarella sticks. But dipping chips into queso, that's dipping things into cheese. All right.
Definitely
Bye.
things into cheese. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
My thing is cheese into things because
Oh,
cheese
is
is
it?
on a lot of stuff, and I'm dipping stuff.
Do you
and I
have
don't
Do you have examples outside of what caller just did, or no?
probably if I really thought about it, but I'm also just thinking like I don't dip into cheese that often. Like also would it count if it's like a nacho but it's already smothered?
Yeah.
I mean, if the nacho has cheese on it, and then like
That's not
melted
a
cheese
dip.
on it, and then you dip into something else. I think that's cheese into something.
But I'm saying I don't do any dipping with the nachos because the nachos already have the
Right,
dip
it's already
on
got-
Then I think that's null and void. I think.
Okay, so I'm not
Yeah.
really. It's like very occasionally you get those like Tostino's like queso things or something.
Right.
Although actually,
Oh,
now that I'm saying this out loud, there is a Tex-Mex taco place in LA called Home State that has a really good loaded queso, and I get it pretty often. So I changed my answer.
All right, we'll allow it.
I dip into cheese because I love that loaded queso. It's so good.
Both options are great, but I definitely dip things into cheese way more.
You know, I kind of think I'm following your thought pattern here because now
Yeah,
I'm
right?
thinking like mozzarella sticks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Grilled
there
cheese
is-
into tomato soup.
Yeah, exactly. It's like how
Yeah.
often I don't like aside from Home State semi-regularly, I'm not really dipping into cheese that often. It's a very specific meal versus the
Right.
broad like everything could have cheese on it and be dipped.
But then the wings into blue cheese.
Yeah, ranch.
I'm a ranch gal.
Yeah.
That's a W for cheese there.
Sure, for you maybe.
All right, we'll have to get back to you, caller. Good question. Thanks for enlightening us. All right, how about this? Let's do one more, Abby, and then we'll
Okay,
say
okay.
goodbye, and we'll be on our way.
Belly button boy.
Hey, Dumpers. So what's the most creative insult you've ever had thrown at you? So when I was in elementary school, a kid once told me, he called me 2-inch deep belly button boy. And you know what? I've never heard anything quite like that. So what's your most creative fucking thing? Sure. Bye.
I feel like the caller really relived something in sharing
Yeah.
that story.
Midway, right?
It's like had to reflect on that by the end.
Totally
Kinda stared
paralyzed
off,
them.
yeah.
Like, wait a minute, I regret this. Oh no.
There's a part in Love on a Leash. Abby, have you seen Love on a Leash? You're a film.
Oh yes, I have. I
Okay,
don't know if
so-
we watched it together.
We didn't.
I
but
watched
you've
it at
seen
one
it.
point, but I've seen it beginning to end.
Yeah, there's a very confusing part among many confusing parts where he's in dog form, and the love of his life, the woman is like drowning, and for some reason the dog calls her a pizza-faced cinder block.
That makes sense.
That's a weird one.
That's funny.
I like it.
Yeah,
It's creative. It's the creativity you really got to honor here and celebrate.
you guys got to see Love on a Leash. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't know if
watch
that's
it.
the takeaway, but
People don't like the problem is like with a name like Grub. They're like, I don't have to be creative. Scrub and just Grub. That's a worm. So they just always go to those two.
oh, buddy.
I just realized when
I'm
I was
fine.
in junior high,
It's
one
whatever.
one they
It's
called me that stuck for like 7th grade was the assholes in class that always would like bully me and stuff. They were like, we got to come up with a fun name to bully Dan with. And this was a real stretch. And I think thought of that at the time. They spelled my name backwards and they decided it would be pronounced Nad Tracker. Like I was always like tracking nads, like looking for nads. You know,
I love that.
Nards. Yeah,
That's
and it's like it's a
amazing, dude.
stretch because it's like okay, Dan backwards is just straight up Nad,
Nad
but then
Tracker, dude.
Riker backwards, not really Tracker, but
Just
yeah,
like,
so
hey,
they-
we can't spell. We're gonna get
yeah,
You
so
know
I
what?
yeah.
I take it back. Lift the gate on Kansas. Put them back
these guys
into the
out.
water. I want to hang out with these guys. Ned Tracker. That's so stupid.
I did have a
track these
drafting.
nads.
I did have a drafting class in high school, and there was like different stations that we didn't really understand, like different computer stations. And I sat under the Buster station, and this guy thought it was hilarious that so he just like called me Buster, and I was like, well, I know that TLC song, but I just don't, and I don't intrinsically feel that as an insult. So this is just meaningless for me. But he really thought it was great. I did that the entire year.
It's pretty good. What about you, Abby? You want to pick some old scabs?
Sure. I can't think of any like fun ones, but I'll tell you one that's scarring that looking back, I'm like, that was messed up. So like it took me a long time to learn how to do my hair, which I think is pretty typical for curly head kids whose parents like don't have curly hair. Like my dad has an afro, didn't know how to take care of it. Whatever, he shaves his head. Anyway, this is all to say I didn't know how to take care of my hair for a long time. And in the 8th grade, I was in English class and I was like sitting there, and then a kid asked my teacher like, what's an example of an adverb or something similar? And then she said like frizzy and looked at me and laughed. And I'm like, it wasn't even an example of an adverb. And
Yeah, that's not an adverb.
but I like wore my hair up in like a tight bun for 2 years after that.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That sucks.
Wow, that's
Anyway, did I really just bring the tone down in the room?
No, I like it.
Was it a lot of work putting in a bun all the time?
No, not really. I mean, I
buns are
didn't really know how to take care of it. So it was like I'd get out of the shower and I would just brush it up into a bun and then like mousse it to stay down.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
Must
I
be
learned how
nice.
to take care of it. It's fine. I
Must
like my
be
hair.
nice to have hair problems.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I
Sore
really
subject.
feel like I sucked the air out of the room on that one. Should we
Sore-
talk about that guy's really deep belly button again? Bully
Yeah,
him
let's
for a
go.
little
Let's
while?
get in there.
2 inches is not that bad. Come on.
I think
How
you'd
deep's
get a
your
lot
belly
of shit
button?
in there. You'd get a lot of lint. You guys get the lint and stuff like just
No, I clean my belly
blue
button every day in the
I
shower.
do too, but it's like you get in there and it's like, what is this blue fabric in my belly button?
because it's the same. It's a small dryer in there. It's the same idea. Lint's just
I
gonna
do-
collect.
I do start cleaning at the belly button. Like that is like I want to start here and work
Start
my-
with the belly button?
Yes, and like work my way out. Yes.
That's
That's
crazy.
wild.
That's
It's like-
I go up to down.
I'm just like I want to like start at like hot spots, like spots that I think could be.
You got a heat map?
Yeah, I got a heat map. Yeah, my bodily heat map. Like, let's go to the crotch. Let's get the belly button. Let's get these spots first in case I
Don't forget
fall
'em.
asleep. And yeah, don't forget. Yeah.
I do think it's kind of sick that like there is a very I would be willing to bet within 4 seconds, right, of like a very choreographed specifically routine that I partake in the shower, right? Where like I don't do this dance anywhere else. It's only scripted for the shower and it's like very specific to that and I know it by heart and it's just like that's it. I never deviate unless like
How do
something
you do
needs.
it? Where are you scrubbing first?
Look, we don't, that
Share
place,
your
right?
secrets.
Yeah, we're
You
go-
start
like,
down there?
Yeah.
because I do it multiple times.
No, here's
I
the
have
thing.
to-
No, the butt.
Yeah,
you want to
wash
clean your butt
then
near
wash your
the
face,
end.
then you
no,
wash your butt again.
I go
That's
straight.
the thing. It's because
no,
I go
straight
up
to my mouth
down.
after that. Yeah.
I go up to down, but I usually do face last. But then I have to make sure it's like, let me get everything except like the butthole, and then I do face, and I hit the butthole at the end. Then you wash the hands, then you're out.
I want that to have the most attention. Like when I'm pulling up to the car wash, I'm clicking that button twice. That's the deluxe wax that I want. You know what I mean? Like
It's not
hey,
even for cleanliness. It just feels good, right, Jeff?
It's just hey, look, part of it's pleasure. I mean, come on. You might as well be enjoying yourself if you're doing work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. But like, any other time that you would do this choreographed sort of dance outside of a shower, you would look like an insane person, But I know it perfectly. Like 6 minutes in and out, done. But not having hair helps a lot. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's
What's
true.
the lesson?
I shaved my head in high school, not related to the trauma from before. I just wanted to try it. And I was gobsmacked at how fast showers were. It was amazing.
It cuts off.
Sure.
It cuts off minutes.
Don't have to
on
do
your-
anything in there. It's like 2 minutes and you're done.
It's easy.
The beard, I kind of traded off when I lost the hair, and then I got the beard. It's
sure,
like,
sure.
you do have to do stuff with that. So kind of like it's a wash.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Yeah. Hey, we're clean. We're cooked. Thank you so much, Abby Russell, for joining us on the Voicemail Dump Truck. Where can people find you? Where are you going to be next? Tell us everything in like 15 seconds.
Okay, great. Play Jackbox games because that's where I work now. So that's what will keep me employed. And that's pretty much it. I'm not really on social so much anymore. Occasionally, maybe on Instagram, but for the most part, not really. So I'll see you around.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm on Nextlander. Maybe I'll be on Giant Bob more. Ooh, I know. Check out my show, Free Things That I Want. Coming to Giant Bomb soon,
Giant Bomb's
right?
favorite show.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Free
right. We
Things
greenlit
That I
that.
Want.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
What a brilliant
of course.
show.
Brilliant idea. Are you playing Resident Evil 6 again anytime soon?
No, but I can be.
If you do, just let me know.
Okay.
I don't know why. I feel like I need to play that again with you.
I'll keep you posted. Let's do it.
I have mostly funny memories of that.
Okay, great.
God, how long ago was that?
That was probably a while ago. That was probably like pre-COVID times, or was it?
No, I think
Maybe
it
it was
was.
deep
I
in
think it was
COVID.
COVID time. I think it was
Yeah,
like
that
end
sounds
of
about right.
20 or 21, maybe. My gosh, there's no way to know, unfortunately. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Dan. Thank you to Grub. We'll be back next week with a brand new show. Until then, 707 Exit Flu is the phone number. We're working on a guest for next week. Not quite ready to announce. But we'll see you then. Bye-bye.